Hey guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to another Retro Magazines thing. And it's been a while since I've done one of these. So I decided to hit my pile of magazines, which is just over there, and grab something at random. And I grabbed a challenge magazine, issue number 49. Now, I've covered issue 50 in the past, and these are great magazines. These are the ones I absolutely adored more than others because it's science fiction role-playing, although it does cover modern-day stuff as well. But you can get stuff in here for the Ghostbusters role-playing game, you can get stuff for Paranoia, you can get stuff for Twilight 2000, as well as Star Trek, Star Wars, Traveller, so many great games, and I prefer science fiction settings to fantasy ones, so it was really in my wheelhouse. But let's go over to the desktop and have a wee look. So, this is Challenge Magazine, issue number 49. And it came out late February 1991, because if we go in a couple of pages, we can see that this is the March-April 1991 issue, because there were only 6 issues a year, every 2 months. So, this one was to cover those 2 months. And it's Challenge Magazine, magazine of science fiction gaming, which is always one of my favourites because I tend to not actually like fantasy games that much. I'll play them and I'll enjoy them and I'll have loads of fun with my friends. But my preference is definitely science fiction, so Challenge ticked all the boxes for me. And it covers lots of Games Designer Workshop stuff because it is a Games Designers Workshop magazine. So we've got Twilight 2000 in here, but more than that, we've got Cyberpunk, and it covers in later ones Shadowrun, Star Trek, just lots and lots of science fiction stuff, lots and lots of stuff I've covered on the channel, and lots of stuff I absolutely adore. So on the cover we've got this Twilight 2000 image of some commandos guessing they've just sabotaged a ship and blown it up, but we've got this post-it note stuck to the cover. Challenge staff from Michelle Sturgeon, managing editor. Issue will be very meaty and will supply a lot of new source material to our readers. I hope you guys in art are able to pull together some innovative stuff on the maps. Oh, and Steve, don't do anything stupid with the cover. Okay. Issue will feature the following articles. Twilight 2000 Pennsylvania Crude for Cyberpunk Wrecking Zone, plus our much-awaited swimsuit insert, Cowabunga It's the Beach, which we'll come to in short this time. Inside, we've got an advert for Mega Traveller, advert for early Shadowrun stuff, so Street Samurai Catalogue and DNA DOA. I'll center the magazine up a bit more. We got the table of contents showing that we have it organised by game. So first up, we've got Twilight 2000 with Pennsylvania Crude and how to obtain maps for gaming. Wonderful, wonderful thing, although obviously that's now very outdated in the days of the internet and Google. Then we've got Mega Traveller, the Julian Protectorate, the Dam, our short assignment, when it's lances not lasers, dealing with pre-gunpowder settings. Obviously in Mega Traveller you can be travelling to lots of planets, but what happens if you travel to one which doesn't have technology? For Space 1889 we've got Thyamata 1889, a city. A wonderful article there we'll go through in a second. 2300 AD we've got Operation Backdoor. For Cyberpunk, we've got Wrecking Zone GURPS Inferno, which is a setting, a mining world. Star Trek Abaddon, a encounter planet type thing. Paranoia, again a setting. Filth, the fully integrated laundry treatment headquarters, a DOA setting. For Paranoia, Star Wars Dandrian's Ring. Infiltrate the Alpha Omega, the largest asteroid in Dandrian's Ring, in this daring rescue attempt. Renegade Legion, Wooge, a planetary survey and mini-campaign, and Morpheus World Generation. Generate your own gaming environments in this mind's eye RPG by Rapport Games. And the swimsuit insert, Cowabunga It's the Beach. So we start off with the letter from the management, and various letters from readers. A small advert for Twin Engine Gaming. Then we're into Pennsylvania Crude. Now this is an adventure, 4 to 10 characters. The players have been detached from the military and are basically going around a resource salvage project. So they're going around salvaging things after the Twilight War. And they're sent to McGivern's oil project to salvage from oil pumps, as we can see in the artwork. There's various encounters within it, different places they can visit, how to pump crude oil, etc. Lots of encounters it writes out, equipment availability, new equipment they can get as they are sent on this task. Very, very detailed, laying out the different areas and what can happen, who's interested, project team NPCs for lots of role-playing. Very, very detailed. And then we're on to the how to obtain maps for gaming. And it talks about using atlases, nautical maps, historical maps, urban maps, and city plans. Where to get them. Very cool stuff. The Julian Protectorate for Mega Traveller. A setting of worlds. The Emperor of Gashikan. Julian Society. Life in Azmikigur. I don't know. Menderes Corporation, Rebellion, loads of pages, lots and lots of information on different stars with the Universal World Profiles, I think it is, UWPs. Lots of star maps, very, very detailed ones. Lovely, lovely stuff, fleshing out an area you can just use in your adventures. So much information in there. We've got a nice advert for Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, which we've covered on the channel. Dark Conspiracy, coming in June. And this is one of the reasons I love this issue, is so much is just coming out. We saw the advert for Shadowrun stuff very, very early. We've got Dark Conspiracy about to come out, and we've got an advert later on for another couple of games. Fantastic stuff. The Dam. Now, this is a Mega Traveller encounter, a very short adventure where the players have to get a dam, getting it off the villagers which control it. We've got the Traveller News Service and a cartoon. As I said, when it's lances, not lasers, so combat in pre-gunpowder settings. Thymiamata, 1889, this city on Mars, with some of the hydrated or still wet canals, but also dry ones, where on Mars, obviously, civilization was breaking down as water was gone. We've got Fort McKellian, a British fort in all likelihood, dominating over the city, the American Quarter, the Bazaar, just very right in the tone for Space 1889. And loads of information. So we've got important sections about town, including a baseball field. There's the advert I was talking about. Vampire coming in May from White Wolf. Very, very dark. Not using the artwork, but I think that definitely caught the eye because it's just almost a page of black ink. Now we're reaching the middle of the magazine with the pull-out section Cowabunga It's the Beach. Challenges sexy sentience of summer. Now, I remember swimsuit issues used to be a big thing. I remember the Marvel swimsuit issues they did for a while, which were quite fun. Thor and his Speedos and stuff like that. We go through and it's different role-playing games. So what kind of artist would come up with a low-gravity beach holiday? Phil Morrissey, that's who. This elven netrunner drawn from Jeff Laubenstein's imagination doesn't look like she's particularly happy to be reporting on the water temperature and the sound from its floor. Very, very clearly Shadowrun. Cthulhu as a beach lifeguard. A commando from Twilight 2000 in a skin-tight wetsuit. A vampire, I'm not sure which game that's from, as we saw Vampire's not out, but Dark Conspiracy perhaps? And then an absolutely lovely one. I adore this one from Space 1889. So we've got the Martian in a bikini and the Victorian lady in her swimsuit down to her ankles, fully covered. Both looking at each other, wondering what the hell they're wearing. And the last one, again, not sure what game this is. The Possibility Wars. So, wasn't that the West End games? I can't think what it's called. But it's a game I'm not that particularly familiar with. But we've got a couple of people with incredible amounts of cybernetics. A bat-winged guy surfing over a beach with a pyramid in the distance. And then an advert for Silent Death. Back to the article about Miamata. talking about anti-human uprisings, what's happened in it, a brief historical perspective, loads and loads of information to flesh out that city. A 2300 AD adventure, Operation Backdoor, detailing the Kafir offensive into human space across 4 issues. And talking about backdoor members, NPC dossiers, loads and loads of information to flesh that out. As they said on the cover, this is incredibly meaty. We're into Cyberpunk, and we've got Wrecking Zone. Details the history, inhabitants, and buildings of a former chemical plant now turned into a zone of illegal activity. Set in 2013, scenario uses first edition Cyberpunk rules converted to Cyberpunk 2020. So we've got our factory and the environments around it, different people you'll encounter, nice maps of it. The maps go into detailed things, but we've got far more NPCs, reactor control rooms, chemical production areas, warehouses, the factories itself, with part of it ruined, as we saw on the big map, landing zones. And then we're into Inferno, Cadigal 1, planet entry for skirt space. So, nice pull-out page detailing it, and then lots of descriptive text. A very, very short adventure for Star Trek. It's only these 2 pages. The players get involved in a place where there's psychic experiments being going on. So people are affected mentally, which leads to them going crazed, people being horrified. It's supposed to be a scary adventure, but I don't think there's enough here. It's too short. There's not enough details. I definitely would have preferred more about this. The fully integrated laundry treatment headquarters, filth, a DOA sector adventure setting. So something very, very silly for Paranoia. Random laundry contents. Lots of silliness. Brief scenario hooks for that as well. Dandrian's Ring, a Star Wars adventure where they are trying to liberate an Imperial Admiral who wants to defect to the rebellion. But he ends up in a prison. So we've got different things as they try and get him. They find out that he's in the prison. And then we've got the asteroid prison, the Alpha Omega prison, which they can land in, break into, and rescue him from the prisons. There's different people, and obviously TIE fighters, Lambda-class shuttles, the Tidarium there. Another world, but this time for Renegade Legion, including one of these lovely maps. I really adored the way they made these, that you could cut them out and fold them up and come up with virtually a globe. Obviously, very polygonal. I'm pretty sure I've now pronounced it right. And we've got World Generation for Morpheus. Talking through that. Bunch of reviews. GURPS Aliens, Cyberpunk conversions for Road Striker 2. Classifieds. What's coming up next issue? I believe I have already covered issue 50. So we would see that. Feedback results telling people what Challenge 47, what people's scores sent in. And the form to send in and score this issue so they know what's doing right. An advert for Amazing Engine. And a chance to subscribe to Challenge. Absolutely great stuff. So much fantastic stuff in there for different games. I'm a big fan of Twilight 2000, but there's so much in there you could use. The Mega Traveller adventure with the dam. You could roll that out into Star Trek if you wanted, with people on an away mission. Everything's just so reusable, and what I really, really love about Challenge Magazine and the role-playing magazines of that era, that they just allowed you to take your toe into the game world. Rather than reading a rule book, reading a review, whatever, you got to see what an adventure in that world was like. So there were a number of the Games Dino Workshop games I picked up because I'd read the Adventures in Challenge. I'd read Space 1889, for example, and loved that Victorian feel to it, a bit steampunky, a bit Jules Verne, and I picked up the game because I'd seen what it was like in an issue of Challenge. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. So that was Challenge Magazine issue number 49, and a great issue, so much to love in there for so many great games. But now I've looked through, I find it quite an odd issue, because there's so many settings on it, planets for different role-playing games, and I find that an odd setup, because is a planet ever something you look for in a science fiction game? Surely you come up with the idea for an adventure on a swamp world, and you decide to create a swamp world for it, rather than you read up on a planet and you decide, oh well, an adventure can happen on the swamps of that planet. Planets don't seem to be something massively difficult to come up with, although perhaps in certain games where you want to have a really cohesive history, background, and set of laws for a world, that would be very, very handy. But there's so many adventure ideas in there as well. As I said, these can be reused across different settings. The Traveller adventures are easily retooled to be Star Wars or Star Trek, and likewise around. The reasons for a Star Trek crew going to a planet, you could easily put your Traveller campaign into. These adventures are science fiction and easily retooled. An absolutely great magazine. But anyway, as usual, I think I've been wittering on for quite long enough, so thank you very much for watching. As always, most of all, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.